I hope that you will indulge us a little bit today because we want to kind of highlight Pastor Larry and Vicky's years of ministry. And some of these things that we're going to talk about you will know, and some of them you will not know. So today we are celebrating the retirement of Reverend Larry and Vicky Van Camp. If you have ever retired, you know that it is kind of a bittersweet feeling. You can't wait, but you don't know what the future will look like. I believe that Larry and Vicky have prepared well for this stage in life and have invested well in friendships and communities that they have served. Larry and Vicky are retiring after 43 years of ministry. Larry and Vicky have been married for 43 years, and I think there's a picture up here of the young couple. Vicky was the daughter of a preacher. She knew very well what life in a parsonage was like, which was why she said she would never marry a preacher. Oops. They have 3 children, Catherine, Rachel, and Matthew, and we've all seen and heard about Lily and Eli. Of course, both of them were born while Larry and Vicky were here at Trinity Park, so that makes those grandkids special to us as well. Catherine is here today, but Rachel and Matthew were unable to be here because of distance. Now, all 3 of your children have sent videos to congratulate you on this special day, so here they are.
Mom and Dad, congratulations on your retirement. I hope you enjoy all your free time. Congratulations!
Congratulations, Grandpa.
Bye.
Hey, Mom and Dad, happy retirement.
We're sorry we can't be there to celebrate with you guys.
But we've got your room ready for you to visit in Montana.
And ribeyes on the grill.
Come up and say a few words. She has some wonderful memories, I'm sure. This is your chance, Catherine, to get them back.
Thank you. Hello. For those that don't know me, my name is Catherine. I am the eldest of the Van Camp kids. All right. Oh, sorry. Is that better? Okay. In a long list of accomplishments over a 40-plus year career in ministry, what stands out the most to me, for both of you, is your deep care and love for people. To this day, I have folks tell me they remember you both and what you did for their mother, father, child, partner, the one they love, and they will always be grateful. You have left a mark and touched the lives of those around you. So as you step into this next adventure, I would like to offer you both this blessing. As God blessed our ancestors on their journeys, may you so be blessed as you embark on this journey of your retirement. May you find rest and challenge, quiet and adventure. May you be sustained by the achievements of your work life and inspired by the possibilities of what lies ahead. May you allow yourself to experience silence and rest, and may you open yourself to the new music that may emerge from that silence. Mom, may you never run out of canning jars and lids. And Dad, may the fish always bite, and may it always be feeding time. Congratulations, we love you.
Thank you, Catherine. Larry grew up in Centerville, Indiana, and he attended Centerville United Methodist Church. He felt the call to some kind of ministry when he was in junior high school. He was close to a number of pastors during his junior year in high school days. His first mission trip was a 2-week trip to Haiti when he was a sophomore in high school. He originally thought he would go into some kind of police chaplaincy work or prison ministry. Even though he was given the opportunity to receive a very good scholarship to attend Candler, and had an added bonus that Atlanta has a federal penitentiary where he could do an internship, he ended up not pursuing that route. And it could be because at that time, there was a murder a day for a solid year in the Atlanta Federal Penitentiary. He did do an internship at the Martin Luther Jr. Center for Nonviolent Social Change the fall of 1980. Somewhere along the way, he shifted his focus to pastoral ministry in the church, but has served as a chaplain with several law enforcement units in several places where he served. He also took a number of 3- and 4-day seminars on police chaplaincy work over the years. Larry received a BA from the University of Evansville in 1971 and a Master of Divinity from Candler School of Theology at Emory University in Atlanta in 1980. Larry was ordained a deacon in 1979 and an elder in 1982. Both of those ordinations were at this school down around Bloomington. I think it's called IU. That was during the annual South Indiana Conference session. Larry's first pastoral assignment was at Druid Hills United Methodist Church in Atlanta, Georgia. He served there as youth pastor from 1980 to 1981 while he was in seminary. He and Vicki were married on May 24th, 1980 at Druid Hills while he was on staff there. In Larry's first appointment, there was a senior, I have to tell some stories, and Larry gave me these stories, so I'm just going to say them the way he said it, okay? In Larry's first appointment, there was a senior ladies Sunday school class. The youngest member was in her 70s. The class would have yard sales several times each summer. As you entered Larry's office, to the right was an 8-foot hallway that was actually a closet with 4 doors. That closet was packed with all kinds of junk that had been there since Columbus discovered America. How about that? It had old plastic faded flowers and a host of other junk. Larry was in need of some storage space, so he took it upon himself to go through the closet and throw away a lot of the useless junk stored there, filling up 4 or 5 industrial black bags of junk. Now, those of us who have been around the church for a while know that you don't mess with the ladies in the church. But Larry got the bags and he went home that night. He had all kinds of room in the closet for all the kinds of stuff that he wanted to store. Larry came back the next morning and the bags were gone. Several days later, he needed some place to keep some things. Since he had nothing but bookshelves and no closets in his office, he remembered the hallway closet was now nearly empty. What do you think happened? Yeah, he opened the first door and it was packed with junk. The same was true behind the other 3 doors. One of the ladies came by after Larry left the garbage bags out that night, saw what was in them, and put every bit of it back in the closet.
True story.
These were the same ladies that asked him about a jacket they wanted to put in their yard sale. The Sunday before had been cold and misty. One of the church members wore a really nice London fog jacket to church. The sun came out, and before church was over, it warmed up. So the owner forgot about his jacket because it was so nice. The following weekend, which would have been 6 days later, the ladies' class had a yard sale scheduled. It was the Thursday before the yard sale, and they were walking around the church looking for things to get rid of. The London fog jacket was still hanging on the peg from Sunday. The ladies said they wanted to throw it in the yard sale since it had been hanging around the church all week. So Larry grabbed the jacket, squeezed into it, and said, "I think I'll keep this jacket." And as soon as they were gone, because they were fine with that, Larry went to his office. He called the owner of the jacket and said, "You better come and get this jacket because it may go out in the next yard sale." I understand that Larry never did get that closet cleaned out at that church.
Never.
Larry's next pastorate was in Clarksville, Indiana, and it was a 2-point charge: Harrison Avenue United Methodist Church and Ohio Falls United Methodist Church. He was at these 2 churches from 1981 to 1985. From 1985 to 1991, he was the associate pastor at St. Mark's UMC in Bloomington. Part of Larry's responsibilities included ministering to the undergrad and graduate students at IU that affiliated with the church. He and Vicki did something special for these students at Christmas and Easter. And I've often wondered, or I wondered after I read this, was this the beginning of that annual Christmas open house that we all enjoy each year?
It started in Clarksville.
Okay. Larry and Vicki served at Cumberland United Methodist. They were there from 1991 to 1995. In 1995, they moved to Rockport, Indiana, where he served for 18 years at Trinity United Methodist Church. And that time in Rockport was a time when their kids were growing up. So another story. When they were in Rockport on a spring day, Vicki, do you know these stories? Has he told you this one?
I don't know what stories he's telling me.
When they were in Rockport on a spring day, Larry was sitting in his office and he had the window open. It was a beautiful spring day. The weekend before, he had gone to Edinburgh and he had bought several pairs of khaki pants. Now, Larry has a strict rule. You never wear any clothing until it has been washed. But on this particular day, he broke the rule. He had decided to wear a new pair of pants without the benefit of a washing. He put them on that morning, he headed over to the church, and got to work, and it wasn't long before he began to regret that he didn't have those pants washed first. They smelled really bad. Actually, it was awful. Larry was so embarrassed at how they smelled. He couldn't figure out why he didn't notice them when he put them on. He couldn't figure out how he had missed the horrible odor at the store. So Larry decided the best thing to do was to walk down to the post office a block away. He thought maybe if he got outside, they'd get all aired out and everything, and they wouldn't smell so bad. Well, that didn't help. He quickly excused himself as he passed by the administrative assistant and headed outdoors. Once he got outdoors, the odor got even worse, and his pants stunk all the way to the post office. They even stunk up the lobby of the post office. This was really serious stinking. Even without the ability to smell most things, Larry could tell he had a serious problem with these pants. He couldn't understand how he hadn't noticed the odor until he got into the office. Larry brought the mail back to the office. He dropped the mail with the administrative assistant and shot right back into his own office. He closed the window and he started to shut down the computer when the phone rang. He was seriously wondering whether a good washing was going to be good enough and was even thinking he might have to throw these new pants away. He told Vicki he'd be home shortly because he needed to change his pants. She said, "Why do you need to change your pants?" He said, "I have learned my lesson. I will never wear another piece of clothing without you washing it first. I put on this new pair of pants from Edinburgh and they stink to high heaven. It's awful." Vicki started laughing and laughing and laughing. And of course, that really irritated him. So he was like, "Why are you laughing? This is not funny." She replied, "Larry, the whole town stinks. Someone spread chicken manure all over a field on the west edge of town. It's the manure, not your pants."
True story.
Now, you all know, well, I shouldn't say all of you, because some of you younger ones don't know this, but there was this guy called Paul Harvey, and he said, "And here's the rest of the story." So here's the rest of the story. Last week, they were down in the area, because that's the area that they're going to retire to. They were down in the area getting that house ready to occupy. When they went outside, Vicki turned to him and said, "Larry, your pants stink again." So anybody that lives in the country knows what that manure smell is like. From 2013 to 2017, they were at Shiloh United Methodist in Jasper, Indiana. And then in 2017, Larry landed here at Trinity Park, preaching his first sermon wearing what? Tennis shoes. I don't think any of us will ever forget that, Larry. We appreciate each year that you wear those tennis shoes on the anniversary of your first Sunday with us. Now, we know that behind every successful man is an encouraging partner. Vicki has definitely been that. I'm going to mention some things that we know about Vicki and some other things that you may not know about her. First of all, in 3 churches they were at, she organized Chrismon making. Do y'all know what Chrismons are? They're little things at Christmas time you put on the tree, and she organized the making for that. She has done a lot to decorate our church here, especially this year at Christmas. She loves kids, and she served in VBS, Sunday School, Children's Church, and Nursery. She organized the kitchen during 2 natural disasters and supervised the feeding of 60 to 100 people for 1 week. And just for me personally, about a year ago, I had a friend who did not attend this church and lost a child. And so I decided that we should do a funeral dinner for these people. And it was a large family. And so Vicki called me and said, I want to help. What can I do to help? And even though these people weren't a part of the church, she was there working right alongside. And that's the kind of person that she is. She sponsored a junior high destination imagination and started a high school version of that at one of their appointments. She loves to garden and can. You know, a couple of years ago during COVID, we couldn't find the jar lids and the rings for canning jars. And I know that I looked everywhere, they looked everywhere, and so Larry just went and decided to just buy jars with the lids and the rings on them. How many did you buy?
46 dozen.
46 dozen, just a few. Vicki has tended our flower beds here at church and at the parsonage and makes sure that we have fresh flowers on the pulpit each Sunday. Vicki has been a great mom, supporting her kids through marching band and doing hair for all the kids in that group, scouting, and volunteered 1 day a week at school while her kids were in school. She's a pie baker, and she baked over 100 pies for one fundraiser. Of course, we all know the baking she does for the Christmas open house. She has been a camp counselor at Junior High South Indiana Conference Camp, and for the last, is it 5 years that you've been involved at Royal Family Kids Camp, which has become kind of a special involvement for our church too. And last but not least, she listens to Larry's stories over and over. Now, he said that. I didn't just make that up. Now, I do need to tell you, Vicki, Larry gave me this. He said, I have been blessed with an amazing and supportive wife. She has stood beside me, celebrating the joys and sorrows throughout the 43 years of ministry. I will be the first to confess, Vicki is the favored one in every appointment I have served. She is the one who has kept me going, kept me focused, and encouraged me at every turn. Here's some information about Larry, the pastor and servant of God to the people. He was a district youth coordinator for 3 years in his first appointment and helped with the conference youth council during that time. He served 10 years on the Division of Outdoor Ministries in the South Indiana Conference. 8 of those 10 years, he was the junior high section chair and was a camp counselor for 2 summer camps. He was the director for a junior high primitive camping camp for 6 years and assistant director for 1 year. He has more recently served as a chaplain, back to those original roots, with law enforcement for about 10 years or so, both in the local departments as well as the county. He served as chaplain for hospice for 15 years. He was part of the formation team for Leadership Spencer County and served on the board for 4 years after it was formed. He was part of the organizational team forming Spencer County Drug Court and served on the board 5 years after it was formed. He has served on the Christian Resource Board, which is kind of like Goodwill. He served on that for 18 years and chaired the board for 3. Larry has washed dishes 1 day a week at Kenneth Butler's Soup Kitchen here in Greenfield. He has stayed overnight at our warming center here in Greenfield on various cold nights. He has been involved in 4 capital finance campaigns, participating in 1 and leading 3. Through those efforts, he has been instrumental in paying off a total debt of $1,282,000. That's incredible. Larry has participated on 33 mission trips and work camps, 25 were in the states, covering Indiana, Kentucky, Tennessee, Texas, Mississippi, Arkansas, North and South Carolina, and Minnesota. 8 were in third world countries in Central America, Haiti, Nicaragua, El Salvador, and Guatemala. He led 20 of those teams. Larry is a Minnesota Vikings fan. One time he found out that our grandson, Brody, was also a Vikings fan. And Larry and Vicky have been very generous to supply Brody with Vikings gear. A few months ago, I happened to be mentioning when we were visiting them that, because they live in Atlanta, Georgia, that Larry was retiring, and both kids yelled, "No, we won't get to see them anymore." And I said, well, no, that's kind of how life goes sometimes. Larry and Vicky, you have shared in our joys and our sorrows. The staff here at Trinity Park has appreciated Larry and how he always gave us wings to try new things. All of us here at Trinity Park believe that Larry was sent to us by God as we moved through the challenges of COVID. Who can forget the weekly devotionals Larry recorded and live streamed to help connect us? I think he did 3 a week, didn't you, during that time? And this morning, Larry, as you were holding up the bobber in the sermon, I thought about how innovative he was and how that during COVID we had to find new ways to reach out to people. And he was ready to do that. We all appreciated the leadership Larry provided during disaffiliation. That was a difficult time for all of us, no more so than for Larry, who had grown up as a United Methodist. Larry and Vicky, we love you, and this place is full of people who have been affected by your ministry. We are so honored to have had you in our lives. And you know what? God is not through with you yet. He is just changing your sphere of influence. Now, I want to bring up Paul Rourke, who is chairman of Staff Parish, and he's going to make a special presentation.
First of all, 2 things. Who knew you were this popular? I mean, it's standing room only.
I told you, it's all about her.
It's beautiful. I'm talking you and the collective, okay? First of all, and the other thing I wanted to say, just having seen those youthful pictures, it immediately brought to mind something my wife says to me occasionally. In our bedroom, we have our wedding picture on one of the nightstands. And she'll look at me and she'll go, you know, in here, we're 2 attractive people. So, you are 2 attractive people. First of all, for those of you who are coming from out of town, today's sermon was timely on so many levels. We are all called to be fishers of men. One thing that I know is kind of a universal truth among fishers, and it also applies to being fishers of men, is number 1, you have to know when to speak, and you have to know when to be quiet and let the fish come to you. You have to have patience. But the third and most important part, you have to have good bait. Larry's request for a well is attractive bait. For those of you who don't know, he asked us, as I said in several of the services when he wasn't here, Larry told us to go dig a hole. There's a mission in northern Nigeria, Mishbiel Fountains, I believe is how it's, if I'm mispronouncing it, but Larry requested us to donate a well. A well is $3,500. And we asked the church to lead them and listen to God's call and react to that. Here's the situation in northern Nigeria. They're surrounded this church and these group of churches are surrounded 360 degrees, all sides, by Muslims. And the Muslims build wells. But the wells aren't for the infidels. The wells are for Muslims only. Here's the good thing. Here's how God blesses things. It's just a beautiful thing to see. Sometimes the Muslims build a well and it comes up dry. The Christians have been building wells and they've been having tremendous success. And their response is, come on in, all of you. The well's open to everybody. Beautiful thing. They also have been subjected to villages that have been burned, adult males who have been killed or held for ransom, all kinds of horrible things. But they came through it with a lot of faith. This well, being open to all, it's not just water. It leads them to the living water. That same living water that Jesus first spoke about to a Samaritan woman at a well. The first place he declared he was the Messiah. Now I got to tell you a little bit about Larry. Larry's selfless. He didn't say, you know, I've got my eye on a nice set of paying clubs or a down payment on a bass boat. Although I got to say, on a side note, I knew they got a new house. I hadn't heard about the well yet. And Joey came to me and he says, Larry wants a well. And I'm thinking, didn't he get a house with a working well? And then they explained and it all made sense. I know a lot of you, like I felt a call there. I said Larry was selfless. He didn't ask for anything for himself, he asked for others. For staff appreciation, over the years I've been the guy standing at the back, taking up collections at Christmas time and that kind of thing. Sometimes we came really on target. We had a good response. And sometimes with tough times, tough economy, maybe not so much. The first words always at every season from Larry was make sure everybody else is taken care of. If there's something left over, that's fine, but just make sure that we've taken care of all of our staff. That's selfless. Before I actually give you this final piece of presentation, I'm Irish, so I believe in good luck. I believe in having talismans and good luck pieces. I don't need them with Jesus, but I'm Irish, so part of that goes with it. I was a scoutmaster and a scout leader for about 10 years in Franklin, Wisconsin. We went all over the place. One of the places we went was to Sea Base. And one of the things I collected, which has been a good luck charm and a personal thing that meant a lot to me, was this clip that goes on top of your cap when you're out fishing. You can see the fish hook. It's a good luck charm for me. It was something I gave to all my scouts to remind them that they will be fishers of men by the way they carry themselves and by the way they live their life. So, number one, I hope you catch a lot of fish with this, Larry. And I'm not supposed to move off, Mark. That's too bad. I heard you, Pam. I'm behaving. So, now all I can say is I'd like for you to accept a small token of heartfelt thanks and appreciation, and hopefully a reminder of your challenge to the church. There's some purple in here, okay? That's to remind you, you are a child of the Almighty. Part of the royal family, but you're also a Viking. Remember that, as a famous philosopher once said, Mr. Albert Pike, that which we do for ourselves dies with us. That which we do for others in the world is eternal. Yeah, sure. We won't leave everybody hanging. You probably just pull the ribbon, I
If you
think.
break the ribbon, you'll have a baby.
Don't break it!
If you grade 4, you'll have some grandkids.
You're real close.
That's it. That's it. We couldn't find anything custom made, so we made a little well for you with a sentiment from the church.
Thank you.
And Vicki, you were right there with me. That's for you too.
Thank you.
God bless you both. And don't be strangers. And if you give me your address, I'll make sure I'm not.
Okay.
Take care. Bye. You know, I forgot to tell you that. Thank you, Pam. We got 2 wells. We didn't just get 1. Maybe his and hers, just depends on how you look at it. Yeah, we got 2 wells. So
Thank you.
it's a beautiful thing. And everybody that got to contribute, you just got a little richer in the kingdom of heaven.
Thank you, everybody, for coming, and Larry and Vicki will go back down so that those of you who haven't had a chance to visit with them, please do that. My husband is doing something. What? Oh, do you guys want to talk?
Sure.
Wait a minute. Do we want Larry to talk?
You can just put those on the edge so somebody can stop by and see. I want to thank you for allowing us to serve here. I'm not sure, we had someone from the First Church that was going to be here. Did Cindy make it?
Yep, back there.
Holy smokes. That young lady, outside of Vicki, knows us longer than any of us here. Callie. She said she was going to be able to come up, and she was our neighbor, and she was in high school when we started out in ministry. Her sister Allison used to use rollerblades or roller skates, and we had an Alaskan Malamute, and she would put a leash on our dog, and the dog would pull her around through the neighborhood. True story. That we really do appreciate. We've loved the ministry here. We've loved the people in every place that we've served. God's been gracious to us. And the people in all the churches, including here at Trinity Park, you've been very gracious. I can't express to you how much it means to us that you've sponsored 2 wells. You know, we've been blessed in ministry. We're in a good place. And the fact that you've been able to support 2 wells and 2 communities in northern Nigeria is just amazing. It's going to mean so much to the people there that, you know, I'm looking forward to calling Gideon, my friend Gideon, to tell him that the 2 wells have been sponsored by those of you here at Trinity Park, and maybe some others as well that made donations. But thank you so much. I don't know what to say. Thanks. We have a number of people that have come from all the churches I think that we've served. I think every church may be represented here, and we've enjoyed ministry in each place, and appreciate the people, all of you, that have taken the time to be here for a few minutes. And you know, we'll go down there and start talking some more. And I just live behind here, so I can stay as long as the line lasts.
Vicki, do you want to say anything?
I'll just say something. Like Larry, I'm deeply touched by the gift of 2 wells. Your love to us has been overwhelming at times. You just don't understand. Sometimes it's just a little thing you do that you may not even realize that comes at the right time. And I just thank God that we have been here at Greenfield and that we have had the opportunity to serve you. Every place we have been has been a place full of wonderful people. And to see some of you here from all these churches means so much to us. And we just thank you. And we pray that as we leave and Andy comes in, that Trinity Park will continue to grow and to be the light that God commands us to be. Thank you.